First off, thank you for having me. So I started out not a lot of promise. Born 84, really raised by my sister, 16 years older than me, and then my grandmother had really bad postpartum. Sister ended up being, believe it or not, essentially human trafficked down to Utah to be married into LDS. So I lost her, lost grandma, that was mom. And then my mom really struggled a lot with mental health, and it was very apparent. And I was her third kid. She had just lost a daughter to brain cancer a few years before I was born too. So all while dealing with my dad Jim, who was by what physicians said the worst alcoholic anyone had ever seen in terms of his binge, how he drank. He would get sober for a year, and then he'd go on these like 30-day benders and end up in jail, and then rinse and repeat his whole life. So she met Jim, had me, had my brother shortly thereafter. And then the real fireworks began. They didn't do so well, so I ended up kind of bouncing all over. I ended up living down south with various ladies in the church. I ended up going back and forth, mom's house, dad's house, all to basically, unfortunately, not get to finish high school. I was living with a girlfriend at about 13, 14, and that wasn't even working out very well. I felt very uncomfortable because I was essentially a couch surfer, for lack of a better term, like from birth. Ironically, I have this backpack today. And I joke to my wife that I still have this backpack whenever I go stay anywhere because I've never really kind of let my hair down and had roots. So I had about 15 homes, at least by the time I was about 14. Ended up meeting a gentleman randomly in Abbotsford who had a basement suite who was willing to rent it to me. I had just started grade 8, and he was willing to rent me on Catalina Court, this gross little dingy basement suite.
So you're in grade 8.
I was doing flooring, night shifts flooring, so I wasn't really attending school. At that point, I had really estranged from both parents. They didn't know where I was, and it amazes me in hindsight because I had a car. I was driving around a 1986 Ford Tempo that I insured, believe it or not, and I don't know if this is still true. You could go to an ICBC office and you could take a vehicle registration and you can insure a vehicle without a Class 7 or Class 5. So I had an insured car, and I didn't have an L, and I was driving. Had a cell phone, had a lot of older friends at the time. I was always kind of an old soul, so I always kind of drew in really interesting people. It's really been a theme through my life. I've been really kind of mentored by a lot of amazing people. So I ended up getting this basement suite. At that point, going to high school didn't make a lot of sense. In the first week of grade 8, which is 1998, I was kicked out of a Christian school for marijuana-related incident. That same week, a guy named Jamie Bacon was kicked out of a school called Mowat for selling pot.
Jamie Bacon of the Bacon Brothers.
Of the Surrey Six fame.